between legislation and law?
Do you know what?
Do you know the difference between statutes and law?
Yeah, if you get caught, like, well, in my degree, I did about law anyway, so I've got an idea.
Can you tell me the difference between a statute?
No!
You want to do some research, though?
Yeah.
She's an idea, but she can't articulate it.
I just bring with her like, my friends in the car, and I friends got a car, you learn about common law and like why are you asking me?
So if somebody was driving a car doing 40 miles an hour in the 30s, would they be breaking the law? What law would they be breaking? What law would they be breaking?
Yes.
Well, that's not a law.
Legislation, isn't it? Yeah.
Under our traffic legislation.
Which is an act. I'm not trying to be horrible to you.
Yeah.
Not like, when you say like breaking the law or committing a crime or committing an offence, so we see it in different terms.
So what's the difference between a crime and an offence?
We're on your case, are we?
No, because it's important, because what's happened to the police force? I mean, you're not police means you're a policy enforcer. Yeah. Proper, you should be a constable. Yeah. Under common law, you're the constable. But under corporate law, you are a policy enforcer because you enforce the policies of a corporation. Now, the UK PLC is a corporation. It's outside common law jurisdiction. So what's happening? Yeah, the police are enforcing corporate policy on integrating into common law jurisdiction, and therefore the police are actually committing crime because they're actually not opposing the law but enforcing corporate policy. So there's a lot of information on the time, and this is one of the issues to open and it's getting bigger and bigger.
So what? Give me an example that happened. And where, like you saying, like, police are.
Well, say if I was to come down with a beer can and drinking beer, yeah, one of them sort of like designated zones. Yeah. Right, if I was to come down here drinking a can of beer, I'm not drunk, I'm matching all
yeah, but immediately I would take it off you. I would explain.
But you haven't got the right.
He's not being aggressive, he's not causing a nuisance or all like that.
Have any open vessel of alcohol in the town.
Because I'm asking right to see where you stand on that.
Yeah.
It's not picking on you.
I only want to say so much
We're going to need to
because if you have to go take some of this kind of beer off them, that'd be theft. They could get you.
Confiscation means theft, yeah.
But it leads up to assault if they don't allow you to take that off them.
I don't take it off them. Usually what happens is, especially on night time when like sort of the younger generation around about in town and they go
22-year-old, what if I were walking down with a can of beer?
if you're walking around with a can of beer
Oh, peaceful, I won't cause a nuisance to anybody.
No, peaceful with me, and I tell you, usually what I do is I go to my school higher, obviously you're in the mountain at the moment, you're not allowed any open or like open alcohol, you want to take this way, and then just go into a bar or whatever, that's fine. Usually I'll let them finish it, and then I'll let them put it in the bin bar. Sometimes if they want to get it up, they'll give me the empty bottles, and I'll put it in the bin for them. But there's ways and means going about it.
The primary thing is what gives you the right to tell them what they're doing. It's their private property. They are paid for it. There's no breach of the peace, there's no injury, harm or loss.
It's nice if you do the job.
I don't like to tell you.
I didn't know. I didn't do it. No, I just think this is what I was saying.
We do a lot of research and we found that it's happening. We found a lot of corruption within the system, within the law system, within the law society, and we find that it's getting more and more radical, and the police are enforcing policy that is actually contradicting common law. Yeah? If they were walking around here with a can of beer and they were being abusive, chucking it around and being, arrogant and disturbing the peace.
Yeah, but that's under different things because to us they would be disorderly.
What disorderly is like injuries?
No, disorderly is any behaviour that you see is not orderly.
Well, if you're being disorderly and you're offending somebody through your disorderliness,
yeah, but then when you're going on to offending things, you're looking at public order, you're going to show me different things. things. Because you're in a public place, it's really difficult for some of these offences to cross over. So like, say if you were here now and you were drinking, you might be a little bit drunk, or okay, but you're flary and whatever, and there's people around. Obviously, if you're in a public place, you start thinking about, right, the same person here, what's their future right now?
Well, that's it, because it's like a type of injury, it's like a type of harm, isn't it? You know, I think you can intervene if somebody's drunk, yeah? Because, you know, they could be offensive, abusive, they could fall on somebody even and injure somebody. Yeah, I think you can intervene, but if somebody's in perfect control, and they're not causing no injury or loss or no breach of the peace, I think it's right by the police to actually tell them what to do. I think it's overstepping the mark of what common law is about. You know, this country was built on common law, and it seems that the legislative side of it is undermining the police, and it's undermining everything they're saying, because, you know, it's turning the people against the police. It's making the people look at police as being the enemy, and not.
People seeing you talking to us, I think we're giving you trouble and you're giving us.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
You've got a bad name, really. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad out there, but
you know, it's like you have to be a true constable is under oath of office all the time, and that's discretion. You know, they have the discretion to, you know, if they're all right, well, let them go. You know, but the policy is different because it's legislation. The legislation is black and white. There's no
grey area.
There's no discretion in legislation.
Yeah.
Whereas in common law, there is.
There's discretion, yeah. Grey area.
I mean, it's right. The corruption. I mean, if we were to actually say to you,
We're common law human beings, aren't we? Yeah.
you're making sure we don't cause any trouble.
No, it's just great. It's great. Yeah. Like, you know, there was a man with a big sledgehammer.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
That wasn't taken off it because that isn't proper. You don't have to take that off it. But if, like mine said to me, if you think that you're causing a risk at all, there's little children there, you know, what to sell over and their clothes. But what if someone was had a bit of complication and picked it up and hit someone? It's not necessarily hit, but
That's pre-crime, isn't it?
the fact that the pocket is there and that's been taken off it.
That's pre-crime, isn't it? That's intervening on a crime that hasn't been committed.
Yeah, no, but it's all about suspicion as well.
But you can't have that's suspicion. And the main reason why I say that the police
It's bullying them, basically. You're picking on that specific person because you think it's suspicious of doing something.
You take it off him, you're taking his details, you just let him do it.
Yeah.
Well, I've been nicked for carrying a bladed article, which was a work night. So that was part of my job. That was part of my job. I was in my work clothes. I'd just finished work.
Yeah, but if you
I wasn't being.
you're not working. You're not in your place of work.
Well, I rely on public transport. I need to get on the bus from work to home. I carry my tools with me. I don't have my own transport, otherwise I'd be in my transport.
It's not up to me, like what laws we enforce or anything like that. No, it's not up to me.
No, she don't fall from that.
It's not up to me.
Or enforces.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you have a weapon on you,
What's your back?
it's an offensive weapon, and you say that you use it for work, then it should stay at work. So like if now a guy works, in trade and has like various tools with it, right? And he's on his way home. I can start looking at his previous and look at what's going on in that
Well,
situation.
that's picking on that specific person. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I wasn't being suspicious at all. I wasn't acting in a suspicious manner. I just had in my work change the subject.
Another entrance round on the other side.
What time is it? You know, crazy, really.
Yeah. There was no intent to do wrong.
No, it wasn't a big kitchen knife, but I was carrying around, waving around and threatening. I wasn't shouting or all that. I was keeping myself to myself. It was a lock knife, yeah. It was part of my work tools, you know what I mean? So I didn't see anything wrong with me carrying that on my way home.
Yeah.
A situation where those officers decided to you know, what they did at the time.
Well, Liz,
Do you know one of the police?
Officers in another name,
I'm
isn't
not
it?
going to stand here and like you tell me that these are bullets and I'm a
No.
bullet, because then I'm not them. See, I'm a bullet.
you mentioned the sledgehammer thing, so I just mentioned that thing because you were on a similar thing.
No.
What were you thinking?
You mentioned the sledgehammer thing, so I just mentioned that thing, you know, because you were on a similar.
Similar lines, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm talking about
That's
the whole
what I'm saying.
situation.
Of course it is,
Your
yeah.
situation was different. For me, I'm in this situation. There's a man with a sledgehammer, there's children, it's a public place, cameras, TV cameras.
Yeah.
You're there
We
to
have
protect them, yeah.
You know, like, doing something now. If that guy was happy, he wasn't aiming to use that sledgehammer.
Was it showing
Doing
aggression?
anything.
Showing aggression, yeah.
And so we were like fighting each other.
Yeah, if he's been aggressive, then you've got to,
His
you
hammer
know,
was on
that's why
show.
you're there.
My blade one, it was in my pocket. Nobody could see the blade.
Yeah.
It was just the opportunity of them officers to pick on me and search me and check my details through. And when they searched me, I have no idea. They didn't give me no reason.
Sometimes
They
you
didn't
do
say I was
that.
acting suspiciously. I was only outside the bus
Of course it is,
station waiting
isn't
for my
it?
bus.
They must have told if they don't tell you.
Well,
We can't speak for them all, but some might have a chip on the shoulder, you know.
Right, I'm stopping you for the purpose of the search. This is the reason. Under whatever act.
I'm not saying every officer's the same. You know,
No,
you do meet some nice officers what do the job properly, but you meet some awful officers.
I call them policemen and women. Because a police officer
I
enforces
call them a lot of
policeman
people,
or
yeah,
lady, you know what I mean?
but-
They uphold common law.
Yeah, but I never said that all at that time.
You're casting me in that same group, and that's not fair.
No,
You know
no.
what I do for a job? I'm doing a PhD in chemistry, right?
Right.
I do this part-time.
Stick to it. Stay about
Yeah,
that
I
job.
do this part-time for you to group me with everyone else. Now that's wrong with you.
I'm not
And
grouping.
people who think
Did
like
I?
you do.
Sorry, are you
me,
listening to me
my
properly?
behaviour.
I don't think you heard me out.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't. No, you didn't. So I never said you were like every other officer. I said officers are different.
This, but I am.
Yeah, I said some officers.
Most of them are alright. Most of them are alright.
Don't get me wrong, I think some are good and some are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I said. I wasn't pinpointing you to like every other officer in this country. The police, you're all working for the same person, you know.
With in terms of the policy enforcement, we've moved from upholding the law to policy enforcement, and that's the big problem. And that's where the people have the conflict, because you know you can actually get to the point where you can't tell you to, you know, if nobody's walking down here or you know, I mean, where do you put the logic into what's an offence or what's a crime? You know,
all my crimes, like, but all offences have something to do with or, you know, whatever. So, like a theft, I know the definition for theft is someone commits a theft and satisfy that criteria on the policy. They have then committed the offence, and I then want to crime, they get them comfortable in crime against someone else. Crime occurs when there is complaining of someone else. You know, like, whether it be the council, domestic damage of being, you know, like, but then I say, I was assault last week, two people were fighting, neither of them wanted to make an allegation of assault, no counter allegation, nothing. So in theory, I could crime anything because they would not be prison. However, I could have gone I could have gone straight away to the phrase, public order offence, I could have done anyway, but I decided not to do the phrase. This is the situation. So not everything warrants arrest, not every crime have to arrest for. I don't.
So officers choose when they want to make it a crime or not.
They have the
Sometimes
discretion.
it depends on them.
The discretion of the common law. If it's a common law, but legislation, you don't have discretion on legislation, do you? Because it's like statutory instruments. If it's an act, you have to follow an act through. It's black and white, isn't it?
You like, what have I not said? Like, there was another fight police on a Saturday, and there was three lads fighting, and we were called at my house.
No, sorry, mate.
Called by the constable. Now, one guy completely, he had blood everywhere, his injury. The other guy looked like an assault and his eyes,
Well, that's a common assault.
And no, because breaking the skin is that you were looking at sexually clean. Is that you're intentionally wounding them. Breaking the skin, they're bleeding.
It's an injury. But it's still coming common law under the injury. Under the injury.
Well, you break the law, you should be dealt with. You know, we were that.
It's a section. That's why I'm asking you if you know the difference between statute.
I do.
Statutes are different.